Hello guys, for our passionate Formula 1 fan, we are back with an amazing new video. F1 has been of great interest to Andretti for a long time, and that interest has increased as a result of several factors, including the fact that the F1 business model has changed significantly and teams can compete on a more cost-effective basis, and the expansion of the championship in the US. Mario Andretti has announced his son Michael has applied for an entry into a Formula 1 team for the 2024 season. During an exclusive interview with the Indianapolis Star, the elder Andretti mentioned that F1's possible 11th two-car team, to be called Andretti Global, would have its home base in England, and its cars will be made in an Indianapolis state-of-the-art facility yet to be built. Michael has been working on this for quite a while, but is going in a different direction since no teams are available to acquire, he says to the Indianapolis Star. By the next day, if they get approval, they will be ready to add themselves to the 10 existing teams in Formula 1. F1 legend Mario Andretti revealed it on Twitter on Friday evening that his son Michael, who raced for McLaren in 1993, was planning to enter a new team into the sport starting in 2024. FIA has not yet determined whether his entry, Andretti Global, has the resources and meets every requirement. It appears that Andretti's claim the FIA has reached out is correct. According to the FIA, in response to the FIA's position, the FIA is not currently able to consider or comment on the expressions of interest from new entrants to the series, as soon as its entry is approved. Mario Andretti, the team's founder, says the team will be ready to race. The team already has an engine supplier lined up. The Andretti Global team will construct its cars in Indianapolis, but will have an operational base in England. Currently, there is no formal entry process available for new F1 teams, and the race understands that F1 and the FIA have stated that they are not actively seeking new entries. However, prospective teams can register their interest at any time. He was on the verge of buying the Alfa Romeo team and the Sauber company behind it last year, but was disappointed when the main shareholder, Finn Rausing, ultimately decided not to sell. All 10 existing F1 teams are now in a good financial shape due to the new Concord agreement and the cost cap, and therefore there are no bargains for potential purchasers as franchise values have risen. As of now, Andretti appears to be pursuing his project and starting over. F1 personnel has already been approached by a headhunting company about a 2024 project that has yet to be named. F1 has also confirmed that a third US race will take place in Las Vegas, while the US Grand Prix will remain in Austin for another 5 years. Over the past 2 years, several US-based teams have attracted investors, including McLaren and Williams, while American technology giants are stepping into the sport, like Conzon at Aston Martin and Oracle at Red Bull. If you are someone who eats, drinks and lives for, well, I mean a crazy Formula 1 fanatic, consider subscribing to our channel for more awesome videos. With that being said, let's continue. Bainbridge, another sponsor of Andretti's IndyCar team, is also a supporter of the Miami Grand Prix. His father indicates that Andretti has applied to F1's governing body, the FIA, but no formal application process seems to be open at the moment, nor is it clear how the process would work. The advent of an 11th team would be complicated by a $200 million entry fee incorporated into the current Concord agreement, a dilution fund aimed at protecting the value of the 10 current teams. In 2010, FIA and F1 learned that from the 3 teams that entered the series which failed, with HRT, Lotus/Caterham and Virgin Manor Maserati all failing to qualify. There has been no change in the policy since then, with both parties stating that serious teams will only be considered, with F1 being the last to join the grid in 2016. According to Ross Brawn, when a proposal for a Spanish and Asian team was first announced in 2019, any further new teams would have to wait until the new rules had been implemented. At that stage, they are scheduled for 2021. The number of teams interested has surprised him, he said. However, we have been told these teams need these rules and we need to stabilise the situation before looking for more teams. So let's get these put into place and then look for more teams. I believe the 10 current F1 teams are sufficient. If we get any more, then they will need to add to the show. We need to learn from history. So many small teams came and went and didn't add anything worthwhile. We need to stabilise what we're introducing in 2021 and see if there's room for a new team. A new Concord contract was then signed, which included the $200 million entry fee. All 10 existing teams signed the new Concord Agreement in 2020, which introduced a $200 million fund that would need to be contributed by new entrants and shared equally among current competitors. It was designed to avoid any potential entrants with insufficient financial resources and to compensate the current teams for sharing more of F1 revenues. Although entrants can be exempt from the fee, it is understood that the threshold for this is incredibly high. Even organisations like Andretti have a family name heritage and success in IndyCar along with other racing categories and cannot guarantee this. It can be seen as a warning sign about how credible Andretti's offer is, especially since Andretti was unable to sign a contract with Sauber. The Andretti-led narrative around negotiations did not go down well with Sauber and senior figures in F1, since it gave the impression that the deal was further along than it was. Andretti's new F1 entry would still be a costly and time-consuming venture, even without that $200 million startup fee. But Mario Andretti insists his son's team is prepared for all aspects, including the $200 million fees. Throughout his Indianapolis Star interview, he said they've checked all the boxes, all the things that need to be done. Their eyes are wide open, and they have all the prerequisites in place. Although I do not know how confident you can feel, all you can do is hope that all the best intentions are forward. According to Michael, there is a huge commitment. It's serious and definitely in good faith, but it is up to the FIA and the Formula 1 team to accept it. It's not just a bucket list thing or a whim, this is for real. As soon as Michael sets his sights on something, he is relentless. He has surrounded himself with the right people to help him accomplish it. He is doing it right. Earlier this year, F1 CEO Stefano Domenicali said that he would prefer having 10 teams instead of more, suggesting he was content with the current number. The budget cap introduced last year has led to many requests, he told Autosport last year. I believe it is crucial as well to maintain the value of the actual franchises and teams because that can make all the difference for their sustainability. I would prefer to keep a better sustainability with the teams that are here. In the end, we want to conclude that, as ironic as it may seem, Mario Andretti's F1 career reached its pinnacle in 1978 when he won the Drivers' Championship. As F1 has implemented a budget cap and new aero regulations to reduce the disparity between teams, it may be the first time an Andretti is crowned a champion. Your comments are heavily welcomed and we would love to know what you think. Will Andretti join Formula 1 in 2024? So comment now. We hope this video gave you good insight into how Formula 1 is doing right now. If you enjoyed the video, please like it and subscribe to see what we post next.